After the president approved these 7 people, the committee terms and reference is as follows. The committee shall be charged with the following responsibilities: investigating all stamp duties recovered from banks, investigating all stamp duties recovered from banks into account, which is stamp duty central account. B, preparing all stamp duty into stamp duty central account. C, recovering other stamp duties into stamp duty central account, wherever stamp duty it is. D, the committee has a power of detention of any person or group of persons that violate the presidential directives on this assignment or try to sabotage this assignment. The committee has presidential power to detain any person or group of persons. Introducing the IT control for the dichotomy on sharing of all the collection between state and the federal government. Introducing stamp duties on 5-year national development goals. G, initiating all statutory steps that finance must follow on stamp duty. H, correcting all legislation that threatening federal government interest on stamp duties, because we make many laws in this house which we have to repeal and reenact the laws on stamp duty. Then to pay the consultant, because the president approved 7.5%, instead of that 20% that I mentioned earlier, agree with the NIPOST. They say the money is too much, the consultant should go with 7.5%. 2.5% recovered charges, then 5%, then 5% royalties. 5% royalties, which is 7.5%. So then after we finish, President said the committee will issue a white paper on its finding for a sharing responsibility between Federal NDS and for the Gazette of Federal Ministry of Information. This is the committee terms and reference. Mr. President calls the DGSS, tell him that we should work together. We take oath of office and oath of secrecy. The DG receive us with integrity and take the assignment serious. Open office for us in the DSS headquarters, provide security for us. Then we start working and inviting different people, and we open our door that anybody that has experience or information about stamp duty or any money for the federal government is welcome. We started investigating, but fortunately, the School of Banking Honors, this consultant to the federal government, brought us a memo that is, he wrote to the minister claiming there is 89.1 trillion in the I&E window account, which she said that charges that are going to the private account is the money which reached almost $170 billion as by then, which is published by some medias, because the CBN already published this in a media where they said, they mentioned the money. So the money is here in paper where they mention the amount. So this invoice that School of Banking Honors raised of 89.1 trillion, he asked the Minister of Finance to direct the CBN to transfer that money from private investors' account into the federal government account, which this thing started bringing problem. That is where the problem started. This is the memo. The School of Banking Honors claim that this is the summary of the claim. This is the summary of the claim as they wrote. This is the summary as you see it. What they said is, they say this money we are talking about, this is the CBN circular. This circular is on cashless policy, when they started cashless policy from the 6 pilot states including FCT. And that is when CBN said they are targeting 25 trillion in only 6 states including FCT, which later they moved to 36 states including FCT, which this day print that I&E window hit, as you can see, $171 billion. This is what CBN this day print that time, as at 2020. The money in the I&E window account is $171 billion. This money, CBN surprised Nigerians because the equity of CBN never reached 1 trillion. The budget of the National Assembly is 1 point something trillion. Before it's 500 billion, they take to 1.2. It's not up to 2 trillion, the CBN budget. But CBN print in Bangor that the banks borrowing from CBN hit 23 trillion. 23 trillion. We later come back and agree with the School of Banking Honors that 89 trillion, which is in the I&E window account, generated from government. But the worst part of it is the CBN opened FMDQ. The FMDQ is almost 60% for the government. So when government is looking for loan, they are lending federal government loan from the FMDQ. So we are borrowing, government is borrowing government money. Let Nigeria hear it. The loan federal government is collecting with the interest that made all of us slave in the future with our children is the government money. We are borrowing government money, which, as we are investigating, the School of Banking Honors wrote a letter to EFCC. As EFCC invited them, they wrote a letter 1 year our invitation EFCC support to enforce presidential directive on CBN governor for transfer of 89.1 trillion, which was almost by then nearly $200 billion, on stamp duty recovery by our institution from CBN private investors account into stamp duty central account, which Secretary of the Government of the Federation, SAF, directed him to open the stamp duty as President directed since 2017, which up to now CBN refused to open stamp duty central account. Because when they open the stamp duty central account, all these charges will go into the account and it will benefit government. They refuse to open stamp duty central account. Even after approval, this committee, the president approved, he directed to open stamp duty central account and move all the stamp duty from FRIS, from Attorney General Office, where they are monitoring, from banks, from SIP, to stamp duty central account. They refused to do it. Gradually, EFCC received this letter from School of Banking Honors, claiming 89 trillion, because the money they are suspecting, the fund held in CBN private investors account, that is I&E window, is $171 billion, as you see it in this day, as per 2020. Then there is found how CBN are lending, how federal government fund lent by CBN to federal government from FMDQ. We collect 13 trillion. What is the source of the 13 trillion we borrow? Federal government take as loan. What is the source? It's the government money. Then the fund recycling by CBN loans to some banks. They are recycling still the money, give to some banks, which is they give 23.4 trillion as loans. If you can remember, recently there is one new bank, Titans Bank. Titans Bank opened in 2019. In 2020, they have branch in Lagos and Lagos and Abuja. 2 branches in Nigeria. They started with 650 something million. Last 1 year, they say they get almost they declare 2.3 billion as profit. But this year they declare 3 trillion. 3 trillion. This bank was only 2 branches in Lagos and Abuja. Lagos and Abuja. In 2-3 years, they buy Union Bank. Bank of 120 years old. 2 years bank. Is it a magic? So this is how when we started this, our committee, CBN created to change the currency in order to divert the attention of this investigation. Later on, CBN creates different different issues to stop this investigation. We invited the CBN governor to come to our committee and explain about 89.1 trillion. The CBN governor, we send him a letter. Later on, we send all the banks, all Nigerian banks, this is a sample. We send them a letter with worksheet, to fill the worksheet as the committee need to show how that money they are charging from 2013 to date. We need the information. But fortunately, the CBN calls the bank secretly and write them what they will write to us. All the 27 banks wrote us same reply, same word, same content, only different letter-headed and the names on the MDs. But CBN write them what they will write to us. Gradually, before the date, CBN governor is trying to not to come to the invitation. He went, called cabals for a meeting. How are they going to stop him from coming to our committee? Later on, I am in the office of the committee. I received the letter from Secretary to the Government of the Federation Office, SGF, saying they suspend our committee activities. That committee, they suspend the activities of this presidential committee on stamp duty. Unfortunately, I received the letter, but what surprised me on the SGF letter is signed by Habiba Lawal, which she is special advisor to the president on policy and coordination. She is retired in the SGF office as permanent secretary. How can she sign paper on behalf of SGF office, advisor of the president? How can advisor of the president sign paper? Why SGF refused to sign the paper? Suspending the committee activities. They refuse. So when I received this letter, I quickly reply to that Habiba through the SGF office, 3 pages. And this is my reply to her. And committee suspension, I told her committee suspension violated the presidential directives and the power given to our committee. And the president approved our committee, only me and him, direct from me and him. He said we should not work with anybody, we should not work under anybody, we should not listen anybody. I should work only with DSS. How can somebody wrote me a letter to stop my investigation? I told them I will not stop the investigation. But fortunately, the following day, I received letter from the Central Bank Governor, Godwin Emefiele. He sent me a letter. You can see the letter direct, signed by him, the CBN governor. What he said in the letter: we write to acknowledge the receipt of your letter dated September 26, 2022. That is the invitation letter from our committee, inviting the governor and the deputy governors of Central Bank, as well as managing directors, CEOs of deposit money banks, to a meeting on the above matter, stamp duty, revenue, and bank charges. However, we regret to inform you that we are constrained to honor this invitation as a result of a letter reference SGF 45X2/208 dated September 2020 from the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He prepared this letter, this suspension letter, conveying Mr. President directives suspending the activities of the Committee of Reconciliation and the Recovery of all stamp duty on financial institutions from other financial institutions 2013 to date. Please accept my assurance, esteemed regard. Godwin Emepele, Governor Central Bank. He told me he will not honor the invitation because of this letter. But what I want to you journalists, to watch well that I am showing you now. The letter wrote to me from SGF office is not copied to CBN governor. It's not copied to CBN governor. It's not copied to CBN governor. It's only copied to Chief Justice of the Federation, Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, DGSS, Executive Chairman, EFCC. That is the way they send the copy. How CBN governor received this letter and he quoted the reference of the letter, which is not copied to him. The letter is not copied to the Central Bank. It's not copied to him. How he received it and told me that he will not honor the invitation. As they use this, I quickly called the staff, the members of the committee, which Director General of SSS is there. I invited the Lagos State Governor. He came. I tell the Lagos State Governor, let him go and see President. Is he the one stop our investigation? That very night, Lagos State Governor went to the President, asked the President how you give Honorable Gudaji Kazaure committee's investigation of stamp duty and stop. President said he's not aware. He didn't stop us. And he called DGSS and directed DG to continue the investigation. Let the committee go and continue their work. So, based on that, we invited the CBN governor again and the deputy governors with the letterheaded of the DSS. CBN governor come to the DSS in our office in DSS. We keep him for 4 hours. We are about to detain him. He started asking, am I under detention? Am I detained? Am I detained? I have a problem. I want to take, I have my medicine in the house. He starts panicking. Later on, they say, let us release him on administrative bail so that any document we need, he can bring. We released the CBN governor on administrative bail. He went. We invited all the deputy governors, GMs, which now they are, even day before yesterday, they are in the DSS. We are still investigating. The case is ongoing. But since the inauguration of this committee, we didn't release it to media. We didn't inform Nigerians. We didn't inform anybody. But now it reaches a situation whereby we have to tell Nigerians what is going. Because we are borrowing government money. This 89 trillion, why, Mr. President, I respect Mr. President, and I want Nigerian people to forgive and pray for the President, because when the President sees 89 trillion, he is happy and approve this committee. He say, thank God, we will liquidate all the national and the international debt. we will implement our budget and we keep money for the next government to come, and we will add our foreign reserve. Then we will import dollar. Instead of paying subsidy in petroleum, we paid subsidy on dollar. We sell it below 200 naira. So everything before Mr. President left government that people are complaining, bag of rice will come to like 6,000 naira. Everything will come down. Everything will be down. That is the essence why I take this issue to the president, and the president is happy. He approved it because he wants to save Nigeria. But today, I call you press to tell you that with all this assignment I am doing, they go and made a secret meeting that they should block me from going and report to the president. Now, they block me to go and brief president the situation, because when we started, we see 4 trillion. We eyed some 4 trillion. The committee eyed 4 trillion somewhere in the CBN. Before we wrote a report that I supposed to go and brief Mr. President, which I can show you the secret but progressive report to the president. Look at it here. This is progressive report of the committee to the president. 30 days progressive, which I will read, and I read it. Progressive report. First 30 days of the Presidential Committee on Reconciliation and the Recoveries of All Stamp Duty. This committee is pleased to submit its first report after State House Council inauguration of its members and swearing to oath of secrecy, along with special consultant in the premises of Department of State Security Services. On this 21st September 2022. This committee has severally directed the Finance Minister to open stamp duty central account that you approve for the full accounting of 89.1 trillion recovery invoice that the federal government agent, School of Banking Honors, raised on that to enable you, Mr. President, your administration, repay the nation debt, revalue the naira, and structure the non-oil revenue, among others, as your lasting legacy to Nigeria. However, that account has not opened yet. The Stamp Duty Central account has not opened.